What's up, everybody?
Hola.
How's it
How you
going?
doing?
So far, so good.
To play?
What's up? Let's drink some of this before I fall asleep. It's so funny, like this is the time where like I start dozing off, wanting to like, and then past this, I'm like,
So, yeah.
Hold on.
the low time. Oh yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay. That was weird. Anyway, all right, let's do this thing. What happened last episode? I remember now. This is what happens when I don't take notes for an episode. I'm like, I don't remember what happened.
Yeah, there were definitely a lot of brain farts.
Yup.
Yeah.
Freezer.
Freezer. Yeah. Let's talk about it. Okay. We're just gonna start with favorite moments like we always do. So obviously you guys in the chat feel free to join us. What was your favorite moment? And we'll start with Finn today.
With me? No. I have not slept for like almost 24 hours.
Well, that
let me just like
sounds like a not me problem.
No, I know. I understand. Can you just circle around, please? Thank you.
We'll start with you.
There was so many good ones, but I would have to say just because of how it was not planned, it was spontaneous. I just had like a eureka moment. It has to be the cat. It happened. I literally was like, okay, he's just gonna throw the cat food in the garbage, and I was like, oh no, wait a second, Sparta's gonna get a cat, and then it turned into a whole thing.
Yeah,
I love that.
I like how you put a twist on that instead of it just being like, oh yeah, that happened.
It was all just because of a prank.
Yeah. And I don't think the prank has even really set in at all, which is pretty hilarious to me.
It just went over
but
his head.
Very like, Sparta.
Because he put, like, I thought about reacting to it, but he said he put Nyx's name on the note. Mm-hmm. And Sparta and Nyx are friends. They've known each other for quite a while now, so he'd be like, immediately message her and say, hey, thanks, I guess. And if she's like, I didn't do it, he'd be like, oh, all right, fuck it, I'm getting a cat. I got 150 pounds of cat food here.
So what I thought was gonna actually come because of that was I thought that Sparta was gonna get all like paranoid and think that the purist were fucking with him. Once Nyx was like, it wasn't me, like I don't know what you're talking about. I expected like him to kind of, because you guys have been like so paranoid, like that whole episode, like you and Alejandro were like paranoid about everything. And I was like, this could go like a completely different way and be like, oh my god, they're targeting Colette. What if they're like targeting me now? By leaving cat food at my house.
Cat food.
The ultimate threat.
I mean, Sparta's getting better, but I think you're giving him too much credit.
Okay. That's fair. But that is like that crossed my mind. It was like, I wonder if he's gonna like think this is like the purist being. I mean, that seems kind of weird. I don't know why they would do that, but you never know.
To fuck with his brain,
Yeah.
throw him like a curveball.
So I was like, that is the direction I was also seeing that kind of go in after Nyx was like, it wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about. But no, I thought it was very fun the way that it ended up. And now you have a little cat
A pocket kitten.
that will protect you from getting hurt ever again because I can't hurt the cat. You're welcome.
Best armor ever.
Yeah. Best choice ever. Everybody needs a cat. Okay. What about you, Mimsy? What was your favorite moment?
For me, it was the pranks. Because I didn't think about it at the time, but I pranked every single one of you guys on that episode. Because I did the cat food stuff.
What
and
did you
putting
do?
the blame on
Well, I guess like Nixa was
the
involved
pigeons.
with the
Nyx?
Sparta thing.
Yeah, it was that pranking both of them, like putting that the gift was from Nyx. Obviously, the cat food was meant to Sparta. And then you had Colette as well. And this one like hit me afterwards while I was rewatching the episode when he talked about the pigeons. Oh, is that pigeon?
Oh yeah,
That was pretty
yeah.
funny.
And she had like a PTSD response. It was hilarious. Oh, where?
I thought it was funny too because you guys were inside a building. She's like, what?
Came in. Came in.
Yes.
They're finding me
So-
still.
Follow me. Followed me. They know I killed one of them.
But
It's probably
Yeah, I
their
think-
cousin.
I think the first prank, on the other hand, like you guys' facial reaction, especially you, Fan, you went through so many stages. Went
I
like,
saw it.
what the fuck? Like, and then you go from what the fuck confused, and like,
This
Wow.
motherfucker.
I was like, why?
like-
But I'm like, what? Why not? I guess like that is the question. That's kind of like the question that you need to pose dealing with Alejandro. Like, why not?
We'll never know.
We'll never know, literally.
Yeah, we'll never know why he does the things he does. No sense in trying to figure him out. Just let him be. All right, what about you, Finn?
Yeah, I wanted to like pick a specific moment because like I would have just said like the hangout with Sparta, like going to the jewelry, but I think my favorite moment was when like Steve just like was like but ma'am, could you please like do you have like a collar for like a cat, like
If I have to look good, she has to look good.
yes.
Yeah, I
Yes,
like how you're like
that
in this
very
antique,
moment.
like Finn just dropped or Nick just dropped like 10 grand on jewelry, and you're like, do you have any cat accessories? No.
I was so like thrown out of it. I
Egyptian
was like,
cat
what?
jewelry. I mean, maybe that could have been a thing. I didn't think about that. But yeah, I was kind of like, it kind of threw me for a loop, and I was like, no, but I didn't want to just like leave it like and cut you off and not give you anything. So I was like, we can have something custom made.
Oh yeah, that whole conversation was fantastic. Like, but what type of stone? Like
Yeah.
dark or whatever. Like, I created a monster.
Yes, you have. Oh, I was totally leaning into it too.
Oh my god, I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm like, this is like a very different Gangrel, and I fucking love it. It's like you didn't have enough time to like spend in the woods with your clan. You were spending 2 years, half of your unlife with a very, very
Yep.
fancy Toreador. I
He's
love
still
it.
a gangrel, but he's definitely not the stereotypical type.
I liked Cry's comment during all of that when we were talking about Sparta like not being a classic like gangrel. He's like he's gonna get made fun of by all of the other gangrels, and they're gonna be like, "Do you have shoes on?" Like,
Yes.
I was
Right.
like, I love that. Now, from now on, all of the gangrel like family, Leo's family, none of them wear shoes. I've decided.
They're gonna be like, "Is that a pocket handkerchief? What the fuck?"
Why do you have
why?
a suit on?
Yeah, I feel like those conversations have happened enough times that they've just accepted it.
They just gave up.
They're like,
Yeah. And
you-
then whenever they come over and they see Nyx over there, like being like, "Oh my god."
they're
They're gonna be
like,
like, "She did it."
They're like, "Oh yeah, of course, yeah, it's this bitch right here." Okay, yeah.
she is the cause.
She is the cause.
My favorite moment was when Jenna tried to say sassy num noms. Yeah, I broke out real bad. I couldn't.
That was such a
I
good
couldn't get it
moment.
out.
It was so fucking funny.
It's hard for me to say those types of things. Y'all don't even understand. I'm real shy when it comes to like sexual things. And I was like, fucking say it, Jenna. Do it. Get it out. Yeah, that was an interesting moment. It was funny though, especially watching it back. Because you guys were like laughing, and I hadn't even said what I was going to say, but you guys were laughing at how hard I was struggling. And then I said it, and it just like made everything, like, it made it so much more funnier. I'm like, oh God. But yeah. Because I feel like that's what Colette would have said. That's why I was struggling, because I was like, this is what Colette would say, so fucking say it. Get over it. Oh gosh.
Get over being shy.
Good times.
Good
Hey, Ivy, what's up?
Hey, Ivy.
We're talking about our favorite moments from the last stream. I don't know if I have a favorite moment. I don't know. I mean, I like, there were like several moments that I enjoyed, but there's not one thing in particular that like jumps out to me. I think just like maybe the cat thing.
Just because it was so random. I was not
Yeah.
expecting it.
I wasn't expecting the cat things. Oh, hello.
It was a very lighthearted, like, vibe, which I really liked.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of our sessions have been kind of lighthearted and fun and wholesome, and
True.
we're finding ways to ruin all of our wholesome moments. Like
I
my
think this
wholesome
episode was the
moment
worst for
in the
that.
garden. You're gonna tend to her garden? I was like, "Aw." And then immediately, you could see it. If you go back and watch that clip, you could see it
Yeah, I
like
saw
hit
it.
on my face. I was like,
Finally,
oh.
like, it. Yep.
But the intention was there. Like I intended for it to be good and wholesome, and then it wasn't anymore.
But I had to take the bait.
Yeah, I mean, if I wasn't there for the pussy thing, but thing was, oh, whoa, yes. I can read. 5 hours of driving? Gross. I haven't been on a road trip in a long time. I like road trips if I'm driving. I don't like being like stuck in the car if I'm not driving, I hate them. They're miserable.
I don't mind.
Cuz I'm just like la 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 la. I prefer to drive during road trips.
I'm the opposite. I prefer to be the passenger, but normally
Yeah,
I'm the
same.
driver.
I also get like a little bit car sick, so I think that's why I prefer to drive as well, cuz I usually just don't feel good if I'm stuck in the car.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Okay.
that was a disaster and a half. I'll be right back.
Okay. So let's talk about the episode a little bit. So we had some more shenanigans with the purists, and they kind of are still fucking around town doing things. They've made it very clear that they are targeting Colette at this point. So we'll just start there. And what are your guys' thoughts on that? And how do you think, like, this is all out of character speculation. How do you think that the purists are, like, getting the information that they have?
Out of character?
Yes, we're not role playing right now.
I'm gonna say it flat out. I think it's Adelaide.
Adelaide?
Yep.
Really?
Why?
Too fucking suspicious on her business stuff, and it just gave me the creeps. Like, it gave me like out of character Imani vibes.
Okay. Not a
But then
connection
again-
I would have made, but all right.
But then again, Aubrey, we know very little about her as well, so I don't know. We're sussing everyone at this point. All the NPCs are sus. Until
Wait,
fur-
Aubrey would
until
know
further
very
notice.
little about who?
We know very little about Aubrey.
Oh. Got it. Okay.
For me, I think it has to be somebody in the city because Colette is the new sheriff. She hasn't had the position for relatively not very long. And the purists already know who her ghouls are, where they live, where they're going to be. So that kind of information, like somebody outside of the city might have heard that Colette is the new sheriff. But they're not going to be able to have that information of the like who her ghouls are, where they live, and that deep of information. So I think there's somebody in the city that's with the kindred that has a vendetta against her. Maybe somebody from a previous campaign, and is feeding them information.
Actually, I came to think of something that I didn't even consider. That literally just popped into my head.
Okay.
Who could have a vendetta against Colette? It could always be fuck, what was her name? I don't know. I don't remember her name, but I'd say a sire.
Her sire or a sire?
I'd say as sire.
Oh, Isaiah's sire. Got it.
But she wouldn't have Colette's like ghoul information. I mean, I don't imagine Colette is announcing her ghoul's information to people. So it has to be somebody that she knows that maybe she doesn't know isn't like happy with her or doesn't like her that infiltrated her Because I mean, a kindred's not going to just start shouting, "Oh, my ghoul! I have this many ghouls. Their names are this. They live here, here, and here." You know. So it has to be somebody that's close to her.
Doesn't have to be.
Roman.
Just has to be somebody that pays attention.
Mm-hmm.
Individual vendetta doesn't sound like an older kindred thing. My guess is it's humans. Individual vendetta. I mean, I do think that an old kindred could have an individual vendetta for sure. I feel like they can hold grudges for a long time. They have centuries upon
They have
centuries
all
to live.
eternity.
Yeah, so it's like piss me off in 1970. You might hear about it in 2131. Like.
Perfect example, Imani, right? She
Yeah,
planned that shit for like
exactly.
83 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Same with
plot
Violet.
twist.
She
Maybe
plotted
it was-
that for a long time.
Maybe it was a criminal that Colette busted in the 60s that became a kindred and never forgot.
You'd think they'd let go. Yeah, you'd think, Nikolai. Finn, we're talking about or speculating about who might be feeding or getting the information about Colette and like how are they getting the information and targeting her and blah 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 blah. So Mimsy thinks it's Adelaide.
She's sus as fuck.
Which I think is quite funny. And
So funny that like everybody's like sussed out with Adelaide. I don't get it. I don't understand.
I don't see how I've played her to be sus.
I haven't seen her as sus. I think it's an inside job.
I don't think she has anything to do with that, even because it's not an NPC that you created for this chronicle. Like that character has another purpose in another chronicle. Like Jenna brought her in for fun, and then obviously I threw like I'm gonna get a cat type of thing, to her.
Me
And,
reel
like,
this
she's
character in a...
Yeah. She's kind of like adapting it to like what I was feeding her, but like I don't know, like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna say it. It's not Adelaide. It has nothing to do. I'm sorry, but I can't create that big of a story with Adelaide.
Yeah.
She belongs to a different chronicle.
Yeah.
And if I were to do something that major with her on this chronicle, it would severely affect her in the other chronicle. Like her having a thing with Nyx, I can easily incorporate that into my role play on Blood Rose. You know what I mean? Like that's really easy. I can't make her be this like the ultimate
villain.
Yeah, in like a completely different chronicle. So yeah, no, it doesn't have anything to do with Adelaide.
I knew it, and I told you guys. I told Chat. I kept telling Chat. I'm like, it's not
back off my
Adelaide.
girl.
Back off my fucking girl. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, no, it's not Adelaide. As much as I would like for it to be Adelaide or something with Adelaide, I can't do that. Just because, like I said, I have a whole story that I'm trying to tell with her. Like, she's trying to become the fucking Baron of Portland. She doesn't care about New Orleans, you know? The only reason she would even care about New Orleans is because of Nyx at this point. But New Orleans isn't even a blip on her radar. She's in Portland trying to become the leader of the city. So she's wrapped up in her own thing.
I mean, if it's within the city, the possibilities could be a lot because, like, there could be some jealousy in the picture.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, for all that we know, it could literally be Penelope.
No,
Who wanted that sheriff position?
She's a harpy. Why would she care about being a sheriff?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I
She's
don't
got.
She, like, I think, like, harpies are above sheriffs too,
Yeah,
aren't they?
they do
Yeah.
have a higher position.
Yeah.
Like they literally have the ear of the prince.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a lot of influence. They have much more influence than the sheriff does, for sure. She would be stepping down in power, so to speak.
Yeah, the sheriff is the enforcer. The harpies are the influence. Like they
The
have the ear.
influencers, they're the influencers.
I'm an
for real.
influencer.
I'm an influencer, the Marilla.
Exactly.
Follow me on Instagram. Jeez.
Ashley's perfect for it.
But
Yeah, I've been trying to wrap my head around it, and I can't. I'm like, is it fucking Roman?
No, because
I think
he
Mimsy
also...
said that too. Or who said
It
that?
could be.
Somebody said it could
Yeah,
be
yeah,
Roman.
I did. It could be Roman.
Could
Like,
be
I'm
anybody.
like, well, he's like,
I mean, he
could
has
be
the
anybody.
information. He has the information that's would be the information that the purists know.
And I mean,
for
I
who
guess
to-
like he was a priest in his past life. I mean, we don't know this in character, but
Yeah,
True.
this is all just out of character speculation.
this is out of
And-
character
but-
speculation. But yeah, like he was a priest.
Could it be a cop?
Yes, I was actually thinking that because there was the whole RP with Sparta and Colette, how the police force after Lindsay were starting to get shady, and they had connections to the purists, and Colette and Sparta had to put a stop to it. So there could be some resentment there. So there could be some corruption in the cops, and the cops, having worked with the sheriff, would have that information.
Cry. Layers upon layers.
What's up, Gry? I don't think
I
it's
love-
Scarlet either, because like Scarlet just got introduced.
Yeah, she wouldn't know the information.
Like she was at the bottom of the barrel, like as far as like even in the cult itself. Like she
But
wanted
then
to get
again,
away
could
from
also
it.
be-
At that time, she had already had the information before she was introduced.
I entranced her. She didn't tell me anything. Like she would have told me if she was in.
Started from the bottom, now the whole goal is here.
Oh, we're giving Jenna ID. That's why you asked us that question, so you
no,
can
no,
get
no, no.
ideas.
I don't use anything that we talk about out of character. When we're playing, if you guys like start doing stuff like this, then I make it things. I'm like, oh, cool. You want that to be a thing? I can make that a thing. I've done that several times in the middle like of a session. Finally not driving. I'm sitting in the drive-through, but it means I can type. What do you mean in my games? What kind of games? Do you role play? You should join us. We have a spot open. By the way, if any of you guys are interested in joining us for our Hunger Games adventure, we have one spot open. Somebody dropped out, sadly, and I'm really sad that they dropped out because I was really excited for their character and to just like get to know them as a person because they seemed really cool. But they got a new job and their job wouldn't give them the days off, sadly. So, anyway, is the unknown enemy from the cult or a separate antagonist? That's the question.
yeah,
that is the question, Nikolai.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like,
If they're part of the cult, they would have to be human. So that would mean somebody that
Yeah.
has human. The purists are literally against everything kindred. They're trying to purify them. So they wouldn't accept a kindred within their cult.
We don't accept you.
Need
Don't
to
tempt
burn in
me.
hell.
No, I will tempt you. Let me tempt you some more. Join us.
One of us.
Hold my monster.
Fuck, like 2/3 of my fucking shit like got
Is
spilled
that what you
all over.
spilled?
Yeah.
Oh no. I had a feeling that
Oof.
might have been what it was.
Yeah.
That sucks. That's a bummer. Bummer, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Many
a
people-
bummer, dude.
Wow, what a fucking buzzkill.
Yeah.
Sugary goodness.
Yeah. It's done. It's over. It was on my fucking hardwood floor.
Black Desert
Oof.
Online. Oh, okay, I've heard of that. Never played myself, but I have heard of it.
I played the Japanese version. I had to VPN and try to figure out where to press download now, and then a very badly scripted translation for the actual game. Felt like I was playing in video with Google Translate.
Yikes. Sounds like a hot
Lol.
mess.
But another question when it comes to the periods as well is
Excuse me.
how do they know about fire, and how did they test their stuff? Because they must have had Kindred to test that shit on.
Well, remember from season 1, there was the other kindred that went missing around the country that were suspected to have been taken by the purists. So they would have had, if those were their victims, they would have had kindred to test on.
And I mean, their headquarters are in LA, which is like you're keeping it as a Anarch City, right?
Oh,
Jenna? Yeah.
What's in Anarch City? I
LA.
wasn't listening.
LA.
Yes. Oh, well, it's
Yeah.
like Sabat is taking over. Just because
Yeah.
I'm kind of
So it's
running with the
complete
story.
madness over there, right?
Yeah.
So like it would probably be fairly easy to snatch some like kindred in the middle of the mayhem.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
they're
yeah.
not technically even hiding anything. And they're
True.
there. So yeah. They could have had information from like other
Exactly, Cry. That's what
Exactly.
I've been hinting at in character every time I have played a character that is having these conversations. I'm like, a lot of these people just like, do research and they have all these ideas from the things that they read and see on TV.
people.
And maybe they're just getting lucky.
And literally like a
And you guys are
common fire damages.
the
A stake through the
sun.
heart is going to do something.
Yeah.
Decapitation usually is the final like thing that you could do. Like, even though Alejandro has a hate for us bringing up movies and shit, like it's
Which we
still
proved
him
even if we brought it up, like even if they just tried it with that reasoning, it still works. It still applies.
True. But we did prove
So-
Alejandro wrong this last episode.
I mean, I proved him wrong several times in our like first season, but he still like was yelling at me throughout, you know.
Why does actually that's a good question, Memsy? Why doesn't Alejandro yell at Sparta?
Yeah, that is a good question.
He's afraid
Because
of a
he
broken leg,
broke
isn't
his
he?
fucking leg.
No, it's not even that.
I think okay, I'm not going to say what I think it is because it sounds so bad. Go ahead. You can answer. It's your character.
When it comes to Alejandro, he's just right now. He's just trying to relax because he's been stressed out. He's been like fighting Saban and not having a moment's rest. So like, you guys are seeing him extremely lighthearted right now, and all that. It's because he can relax. He doesn't have to look over his shoulder all the time, apart from the purists. But he knows that the purists ate the Sabat. Epirus will die with a bullet to the head. So he can, he is much more relaxed, knowing
He's willing to
that
humor Sparta.
he's willing to confuse the living shit out of Sparta, but also like he's still kind of like taking that step back, but more for Sparta and eventually Nyx to learn, because Nyx didn't know about the first body with the note and all that stuff.
Well, yeah, it wasn't there.
So he's much more relaxed now. But the whole movie thing, I think it's because he appreciates his job, and this whole it works on the movie is like, that's fucking Hollywood. Sometimes it doesn't work. Welcome to the real life. So I think that's kind of like the triggering thing, like it's what you see in movies is fiction. This ain't exactly a fucking fiction movie. You get shot, you get killed, you die.
But to be fair, Sparta literally pulled a page out of the movies and broke a window. He didn't Kool-Aid Man through it this time, but he still went through a window.
I mean, I get it. I get where Alejandro's coming from. But again, there's like somewhat validity in certain things, and like there are other resources like that are made into movies, or like it could be a documentary, or like murder investigation documentary or whatnot. Like you still see some sort of like reality, even though you're not seeing every little step. You can still like educate yourself in that manner. Obviously, like if you're watching Cops, then like definitely that is not reflecting the reality of things.
Bunch of crackheads. That's what Cop is. Crackhead TV.
I don't know.
So go ahead.
I was gonna say that whole scene, we did learn one important thing, that me and Memsy are traumatized.
Yes.
And afraid of electricity.
You guys are afraid of everything.
Not necessarily.
I didn't realize it until that episode.
But
we really are
afraid of fucking going in. I mean, it's
I'm afraid of bombs. He's afraid.
What? You cut out for a second.
I'm afraid of bombs. He's afraid of light.
Yeah, you
not
kept being
exactly.
so
Not exactly.
stubborn about not turning on any light.
It's been several episodes, and I'm just like, you guys can turn on the lights, like you don't have to go to these drastic measures. Like just turn the fucking light on. It's like you're so worried, like I'm gonna turn the light on and Jenna's gonna fuck everything up. Like fuck the lights. But no, I thought it was funny. That's why I said something in the last stream, because I'm like, this has been like several episodes now where they like refuse to use a flashlight.
You're not going to turn the light off.
Or a door.
Fuck these storyteller traps.
I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about it. Yes, I don't even want to touch a door in case of a bomb.
Every house is rigged. Like these people
Every
like to rig things. I'm like, god damn. That was like How many episodes ago was that, you guys? That was like the 3rd episode into the 1st season. Literally.
It was like 15 like episodes.
Yeah,
Right.
at least. If you don't want to touch a
You
door, maybe
traumatized us.
you could Toreador instead. But
But
Wow. Wow.
I love it, Cry. I'm feeling it.
you traumatized us, Jenna.
Like,
But
gosh, that was a long time
but
ago,
there's-
though, guys. Come on.
But it's not only that, it's like these locations, okay. The first one with the freezer
Max
was the last known
on this.
location. They No, but when you think about as a cop, right? You go to a location. What if they have some sort of security measure? Could be rigged, it could be anything. Could be cameras, anything. Then you go to another place, it could be rigged. If it's a lead, you have to be careful.
I don't think everyday cops are worried that things are rigged to blow up. Let's be real.
No.
That doesn't happen in real life. Unless
I
you're
already
like
know-
working with the fucking like known terrorist groups. I don't think that is a worry that cops have on a daily.
This is an
But I
nefarious group now.
Already know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna say Sparta's gonna open the door, and then Jenna's gonna be
Boom.
like, "Boom," and I'm gonna be like, "I told you, Jenna."
How many doors have you opened since that
None.
episode that have not blown up?
I haven't
Yeah.
opened up a single one. I always go through the window.
I mean,
Actually,
let's
you
be
opened
real
up the
here,
door,
guys.
last episode.
Yeah, you did open a door on the last episode. You opened the door for Alejandro to come in.
Oh, okay, true. Actually,
I opened the door. Got him. No, I just think it's funny that the last like 3 episodes, you guys are literally fucking paranoid of everything. Might be rigged. The conversation always starts, you know, these guys like to rig things. And I'm just sitting here like, nothing is gonna blow up. That is not
But
what we're
always like,
doing.
Remember that one time
With the
they
car,
blew me
yeah.
up?
how
And it
come?
wasn't even a house. It was a car. It wasn't even a house that was rigged.
I mean, to be fair, you did blow up somebody, and technically you blew up them
Huh?
this season. Remember the bomb?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What does that
So, to
have
be
to do
fair-
with opening doors and turning on lights?
Well, you brought bombs back into the picture when you blew up a person.
Okay, whatever. I guess I'll just have to patiently listen to your conversations about things blowing up for the rest of the season. I had a question. Fuck. What was it? It had to do with Alejandro, and I totally forgot.
Uh-oh.
I don't remember. It's gone forever. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Did it
gone.
have to do with he owes his soul to Aubrey now?
No, but he does, which is pretty funny. I was surprised that he agreed to that. So it's gonna be like owing a favor to a kindred is quite a powerful thing. So we'll see what kind of interesting things that's gonna lead to. And he did say anything, so yikes. Verbal agreements. No, it wasn't a verbal agreement. That agreement was signed with the blood that she slid across the table to him. That was her blood. She's like, if you're gonna drink my blood, you're gonna do something for me. Jenna's like, I want to get on with the story, and you guys' fear is slowing me down.
Kinda.
Is there a record of it? I rest my case here, Dracula. Okay, you make a good point, Nikolai. You make a good point. No, I mostly just think it's funny. I am sitting there, like, tired of the 15-minute conversations about how to get into the fucking house, to be fair. But I'm like, okay, this is the thing that I have to deal with. I'll just start punishing you guys when you sit in the car for 15 minutes and worry about the house being rigged when it's not rigged. I'll just punish you in other ways. It's fine. Jenna's gonna throw some shit at you guys to get you going. Exactly. I have my methods. Don't worry.
I've been trying to be aware about that because, like, I don't want none of that shit. I'm like, okay, we decided to do this. We're gonna do it. Fuck it. Let's go.
Finn already knows. Like, if a conversation's taken too long, she's like, Jenna's gonna fuck us up, guys. Stop talking.
I already
Let's
know.
go.
I already know, and I'm trying very hard to, like, but I wasn't there, so, you know.
Yeah, you can't help the guys out because you weren't there. But nothing bad happened anyway. But
well, I mean, another body.
Other ways, more ways. I mean, that was gonna be there regardless of how long you sat in the fucking car and talked about how you were gonna open the door or not open the door. The body was inevitable. Had nothing to do with how you managed to get into the house. I already knew that the body was going to be in there. Gosh, I keep having thoughts and then forgetting them on my tangents. I was going to switch over to with Adelaide and Nyx. Things like ended weird. And I talked about it after stream, like after we ended, because I was really tired and I'm like, I can't play Adelaide how Adelaide is to be played. So I knew that I needed to like do something with her, but I didn't really know what it was going to be. But it ended up working in the end. And what I end up kind of setting up does have like story behind it. So if things ever get unfolded, they'll actually have some meaning as to why she was like weird and awkward and not Adelaide. And that was just because I wasn't in the right frame of mind to be Adelaide.
She's like, no, I can't. Do it.
I'm like, I don't have enough brain power for this tonight. So, but yeah, so things, and I thought it was funny because I feel like it ended up ending okay because of like what Adelaide said, like in the car and like that phone call and whatever. And then like how you were like, Nyx was kind of like, oh, this isn't because of me. Like, because at first she was like, oh my God, like things are weird.
Me? She already tired of me? Like, is it because I left everything out? Like, is it because I made myself too comfortable?
Okay.
She said that she was okay with it. But then like, you know, that happened. And then obviously like, I was like, okay, there's some like fucking underlying bullshit. And then like, you know, yeah. I thought it was like cute. Like it was like a moment where it's like, okay, like this is like, you know, the real stuff. It's not like just like the museum and like the cute whatever. Like she has like a lot of shit that she's dealing with and it's very heavy shit. Like she, you know, like she deals with like a black market. Like
yeah, she's hiding this like
risks.
ancient vampire in some dungeon somewhere. It's fine. We don't, you know,
yeah,
like
it's fine. it's fine, you know. But
no big deal. No stress
no
here.
big deal. But you know, like she recognizes it and she's like, okay, like this is just like the real stuff. We're gonna be here. We're gonna hold hands, and I'm gonna give you a little kissy, and then like I'll see you later, okay? Like
Okay,
I'll
bye.
Then do a little gift, super extra, like expedite.
Little
like,
gift. Yeah. Just a little one.
Just a tiny one.
Yeah. Nothing special. Which is funny because I fucking totally forgot to have her respond to that before we ended, and I was like, oops. Oh well. She was busy. She'll respond to it
She
the
was
next
busy.
day.
She'll figure it out.
Yeah.
As,
she or
as
well,
long
Fred.
as Fred got it.
Fred
yeah.
delivered it to her house. She was just busy and didn't have enough time to open it. So, it's fine.
I thought that was hilarious, the thing between Fred and Nyx.
The texting. How
The texting was really fucking funny.
whenever Fred thought it was for him. Yeah, the next day Fred has like the little thing.
The brooch.
Yeah, in his hair. No, because he doesn't know what he doesn't know what it is.
Right,
so
right. So like he'll just put it in his hair. Perfect.
He thinks
Great.
it's a beret.
Fantastic.
Adelaide's, what's that?
He thinks Nyx has a crush on him.
Oh, that would
No.
be so funny. She's like, I don't think that's how you're supposed to wear that.
No, and I don't think that is for you, Fred.
Yeah, I know. Why'd you open my mail? I talked to you about this. It's a whole thing. Oh, God.
I understand that you're concerned about my safety, but like, do not fucking open my shit.
Oh shit, that's funny. No, I thought it was funny how like when the texts were like really generic about like things that like Fred could just answer, the texting was like really fast, and then when you started like making it more personal, it was like much slower because he's obviously like relaying this message to Adelaide. Oh my God. I can just imagine like the
And
conversations they have.
I loved the moment where it's like, could you please send Fred?
Yeah.
to-
Yes, I
like,
will send Fred.
Yes, I will send Fred.
Uh,
Adelaide is gonna have to tell me at a certain point.
yeah,
Right.
I feel like at a certain
Nyx is gonna be
point,
embarrassed.
it's gonna be
It's
like,
by the way.
I feel like if the text ever start to get really personal, then she would probably be like, hey, maybe like we should save those things for like phone calls.
This is like, why?
Things get awkward for me, okay? Fred like
Fred is
avoids
smiling and
eye
giggling a lot.
contact with her for like a whole day.
Fred is now giggling.
Hi, baby. Oh my God. But yeah, we'll see how that evolves over time. Because right now it's like it's not really a big deal if Fred is like reading the text. Like, who cares, you know? There's been some little light like flirtiness and stuff, but it hasn't been anything like that you wouldn't want somebody else to read. You know, where you're like,
It hasn't been like super cringe content.
no.
Just very slight cringe content.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
But no, it's pretty funny. And I want to touch on this because I don't know if Jess is here. I know she usually is just listening. If you're here, let me know, because I think I've seen you say this and Ivy as well. Where I want to go back to this whole Adelaide is sus idea. Why do you guys think she is sus? I'm so interested in this. Like, do you think that she's just like sus in general? Or like, is there a specific reason? Hello, Took. Hello, how are you? My little prince. Oh, the baby. Him loves mom. They want Nyx to themselves. Oh, is that what it
I
is,
was thinking
Nikolai?
that, Nikolai.
They're jealous. They're jealous, so Adelaide is sus. We gotta get rid of her. Off with her head.
Fuck Adelaide.
And Mimsy, you said she was sus in the sense of specifically for what was going on. Do you think because I think you may have said it. I don't know. There's been several comments in in chat throughout the streams, of people being like, she's so sus, like, and I'm just like, how? Why?
I don't see it. So like I am
Same.
like
Yeah,
I'm
I'm curious.
I'm really wondering as well because I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I guess technically, in the most technical definition, she is in the black market, so in that sense, she's sus. But as far as regular stuff, I don't see her as sus.
This is the world you have created. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen 15 episodes ago. The damage is done.
Damage is done.
But no, I truly though, I'm curious. Like what about her makes her sus to you guys? What is it that she's doing? Constant distrust. Besides that.
It's because she's a boomer, the original boomer.
Adelaide will heal the wounds. Will she though? I feel like she's causing more problems.
No. No, she's not. She's giving like a lot.
Finn's
she's
like,
opening
no.
a lot of doors for, Nyx and for the well-being of the party kindred.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
So I think that is like fantastic.
And the safety. Like, she's literally helping with safety gear.
Yeah, expend that thing and like make it a thing.
So Mimsy, what is it about Adelaide that makes her sus to you? We'll wait. I don't know if Ivy is still listening because I know they're like in the car. Oh yeah, she's disappeared. I believe they're gone. They're gone forever. Come back, Ivy.
Alright, now my mind is blanking out.
So she's not sus then.
I'm just blanking out.
No, we decided that it's
Okay.
It's us.
It was just fake news. Hashtag
Fake news. It was just PTSD. Every kindred that is brought in randomly.
No, take your time, Jess. You're all good. Did Adelaide show Nyx her prized possession when she visited? No, Nyx doesn't know anything about Adelaide's like underground life and the shit she's got going on.
We didn't get
They're not there yet. Adelaide doesn't quite trust her. She was
we just had like a good time.
Very forthcoming with the fact that she didn't trust Nyx. Like, and she didn't say it in like a rude way. She was just like, I don't know if I can trust you yet. She was just brutally honest, like she has been the whole time with Nyx. She's been like really upfront and honest and been like, yeah.
Let's do drinks together, yes.
There's something about her attitude during the past episode that I don't like. Okay. Wait, in this previous one, the last one?
Because like the sus thing has been like a few episodes that have been mentioned. It wasn't just like this last one.
It was like everything that Adelaide did. You guys were like, sus. And I'm like, she's being like really sweet and nice right now. How is she being sus?
Like, what is happening? I know.
She's reeling you in, Nyx, and then she's gonna kill you. I don't know. I mean, I could totally see like this episode. She was kind of sus.
Yeah, if she was like acting like this throughout, like I feel like it would have been definitely like it would have been weird and sus for sure.
She kidnapped one of my villains. Yes, she did. She's got Miss Queen somewhere hiding. But no, I just thought it was interesting is all, so I wanted to see what people's thoughts were. That's all. I was just curious. I mean, I'm gonna continue playing her the way that I play her because that's her character. So, I mean, if you guys want to think she's sus, then cool. But I just thought it was funny that, like, I felt like I was just doing, like, really normal things. And I was seeing people in chat being like, oh my God, she's so sus. That's so sus. And I'm like, what? Why? What is she doing? It was just like, I was like, maybe I'm just not realizing that this is sus. But it didn't
Yeah.
seem like it was to me. Obviously, there is like a level of mystery to her, which I guess could make her feel like a little bit sus in that regard.
Yeah.
But that's
But
how
I mean,
she
who
is.
the hell, like, even think about it, like, especially for Kindred, like, I don't know, in my head, like, it's like, well, like, are you going to, this is not The Bachelor, like, you're not gonna tell, like, your entire story and everything that is going on because, like, you don't know if you're gonna get the rose to like move forward, like it's like they're getting to know each other and they're enjoying each other's companies, and like Nyx doesn't necessarily need to know what the fuck like Adelaide is doing in her very private life, because again, they don't know each other. They met at a club. Nyx crushed really hard. She threw the rock out there. The rock bounced back at light speed, smacked her right in the face again. And now she's kind of trying to figure out what the heck it is, So I don't know. Like, yeah, I was also like curious.
Cry makes a good point. Vampires don't tell each other anything. And you're right.
Yeah.
Most old vampires and mature vampires don't. Like,
No,
and
that,
we've
like, would be-
operated with very young, naive vampires that are not mixed up in very important, dark things
Matter.
in the world, in the society. Like, you think about, like, the contrast between a character like Adelaide in Nyx, or even like Sparta, and even Alejandro. Alejandro is not as young as them, but he's not mixed up in the shit that she's mixed up in. And she's been mixed up in this before she became a vampire. This is how she was introduced to this society. She was a ghoul, and her sire had this underground black market kindred thing going on. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is all she's known from the very start, even when she was still a human. So yeah, of course she's going to be secretive. Almost everything about a vampire can be fucked with blood sorcery. Get some blood? Uh-oh. Got a name? Uh-oh. Know where their haven is? Uh-oh. Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't want to give away too much information, and you don't want to put yourself in a situation to where something like that. Get a little bit of blood, you're fucked. They can find out all sorts of things. There's not as many rules. But yeah. This is like D&D, but with vampires. So I'm holding off on restarting Blood Rose until the Sabbat book comes out. Don't read too much into that. Okay, I won't read too much into that, Cry.
No.
Excuse.
Well, fuck. No.
Well, there goes Adelaide.
No, well, there goes like the doc, because like
Rip
she's
Adelaide.
ex-Sabbat and she's been running from them. Okay, Cry, terrifying.
Adelaide's gonna go up against some crazy Sabbat people and die. Watch it. I can see it.
Plot twist: the Doc and Adelaide die.
Rip.
Totally not trying to bribe people.
But no, I mean, I guess I get that Adelaide can be like a little bit sus, but I don't know. I think that out of all of the characters that I've portrayed, like she has a lot of mystery to her on purpose, you know? And especially with like introducing her to Nyx, like she's not going to tell Nyx about this shit. She probably won't tell Nyx about any of the stuff that she does for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's just because I saw you play in the Blood Rose, so I know how
Yeah,
Adelaide
I
is.
also
So I
like
know.
saw you. Yeah.
True.
So I'm like, yeah, this is just the way she is.
Mm-hmm.
She's really just sweet, you guys. She is. She actually is a really sweet character. Jenna starts writing incredibly dark backstory. No, she has a dark backstory. She has a dark backstory, but her as a character, like, it depends on who she's interacting with. But she is she's kind of like a gentle character that has been like thrusted into this crazy environment and has adapted because that's what Ventrus do. To rise to power, they adapt to their surroundings. So
Adapt
she
and
has
conquer, bitch.
adapted and become what she needs to be in order to rise to power. Your cat is everything? Yeah, this is my baby. They call him my mountain goat cat because he climbs up on my chair. He always sits up here.
Mountain cat. Yes.
In terms of games that I've played, Pathfinder. Oh, wow. So you do role play. Cool. Well, like I said, if you want to join us, there's a spot open. We're doing a campaign. It's going to start in a couple of weeks. It is a campaign based off of the Hunger Games. And your character might die the first episode. So there's that.
Yep.
Or it might. Wait, have you not heard about this, Cry? We're doing a oh, my computer froze, I think. Hello?
You're still here.
Hello?
My OBS
still
is
here.
frozen.
Yeah,
It's
it
still running.
still looks fine. I have the stream open right here.
Same.
What is happening for me then? It's frozen. Well, I guess I'm just gonna keep talking. Okay, it's working again. That was
Okay.
weird. Everything on the only thing that froze was my OBS. Everything else was fine. That was weird.
Oh.
Anyway, I come and go because of work. No problem. Most of my games have died horribly, but I'd love to. Ooh, Hunger Games. Well, cool. I'll tell you guys more about that real quick. So we are starting a chronicle. It's going to be kind of like a game show kind of vibe to it. And I have created the entire world. It is all completely 100% homebrew with like the lore of the country and blah, blah, blah. And basically, I took one of the villains from our first season and I made her into this chronicle, and she is leading a faction called the Syndicate. And they kind of took over the United States and are now, they own the United States or whatever you want to call it. They control it. It's based in the future, so I think it's 2188 or something like that. And basically the idea is they created these games for their entertainment mostly. For political reasons, they try to say that they created them for other reasons, but it's just because they're bored.
You're bored.
And evil. So what they do is every year, the country has been divided into 8 districts, kind of very similar. It's very similar to the Hunger Game vibe. And from every district, except for 2 of them, people are kidnapped. Kindred are kidnapped in just the middle of the night and thrown into the death games. So they have no say over being there or not being there. And we do have 2 districts that are designated for like career contestants, kind of how in the Hunger Games they have those people that like volunteer. So we have 2 districts that are designated for that, but all of the other 6 districts will just be random people snatched up in the night and thrown into this game. And then basically what we're going to be doing is every week the episode will end with sort of an arena fight, and I will roll, so it'll all be random. I'll roll for 2 districts that have to fight against each other, and you fight to the death, and whoever wins goes on to the next week with the other contestants. So like the first half-ish, most of the stream will be like focused on how the characters are surviving, because they do this in like week intervals. So they bring you to the arena, you fight for your death, and then they basically throw you out of the arena and you have to survive for a week until the next kind of fight. So we'll focus a little bit. So there will be some like chance for like RP and shit like that. It's not going to be like super story heavy and story driven, especially not at first, because there's going to be so many people, we just won't have enough time. Maybe when we get into the later parts of the season, when there's only a handful of people, we can dive a little bit more into that. But it's mostly just going to be kind of like a fast-paced sort of game show kind of thing. So yeah, we'll be starting that on August 6th is when we will be doing that. And if you join the Discord, there's more information about like the session times and all that kind of stuff. But we do have 1 spot open. So we're looking for 1 more person. If you're interested, then we can chat about it some more if your schedule allows it. And yeah, we would love to have you guys join us. Sessions won't be too long. I think we're aiming for like 3-hour sessions roughly. So yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a very different vibe of what we're doing with New Orleans for sure. Yay. New friends. But yeah, so that's good things. Let's hop back into our discussion about the episode real quick. So Adelaide kind of had a conversation with Nyx about like starting this business and things, which I think is quite interesting. I feel like it's sometimes I wish that Nyx wasn't so socially aware because she's so like socially aware that if I play a character a certain way, she's not gonna like push at all. So there's no like, what's the word? There's no like pressure to like, you know what I mean? Like for example, with the whole conversation where Adelaide wasn't being very forthcoming with, the sus ghost. That's exactly what I was about to say, Ivy. She wasn't being very forthcoming with who like these people were that were interested in this like line, this fashion line or whatever you want to call it, clothing line. And as Ivy called them during the session, the ghosts, it's like, she's like, it's never, what did you say? You said something like, it's never a good thing to work with ghosts or something, like something along those lines. But I just thought it was interesting, but it's like, it's so Nyx to like not ask questions because
noted.
Yeah. She's like not gonna push Adelaide to be like, well, you need to tell me who these people are. Like,
no,
if I'm gonna
not
work.
Ashley.
Well, Ashley is like a different level of not socially aware. She just doesn't care. I feel like
no, exactly. Like I feel like Nyx just, it's also like I feel like it comes a lot from like respect as well.
That's what
like,
I was gonna ask.
Especially now that she knows that she's pretty old, vintage.
Vintage.
Like we said vintage. You know, like she would be even more careful about it. And plus, like she, you know, she's like, I thought about it. It's like she's such a try hard. She's probably gonna try to like seem so like on like because she already showed plenty of vulnerability to Adelaide, and then like the more she knows about her, it's like, oh shit, I need to like stay on the same level.
Yeah.
Like I can't fall behind.
I thought
So
it
like I
was
feel like, not asking or not putting pressure kind of like gives an idea of like confidence, fake confidence. Fake it until you make it.
sure, that's a
Like-
strategy. I thought it was really funny how in the bathroom, like before they went out to like have that conversation about business, and Nyx was like asking Adelaide, like, are you okay, blah blah blah, and she's like, yeah, blah 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 blah, whatever, and Adelaide's like, yeah, you're really open, like you're and Nyx is like, oh yeah, like I am, like, and it was like settling in her mind, like, oh no, like I've said too much, like,
Yeah.
and I feel like she was realizing in that moment that she didn't know a lot about Adelaide, but Adelaide
Yeah.
knew a lot about her because she
Yeah.
had been so just freely open and sharing information, and like,
Yeah.
and she was like, oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah, let me reel it in a little. Like,
Let me just get my composure back.
yeah. I thought that moment was kind of funny, and Adelaide's like, yeah, you talk a lot.
Yeah, you.
Mhm. You offer up a lot of information so freely.
F.
Shouldn't have said that. Should not have said that. But yeah, but no, I was gonna ask, like, is one of the reasons why Nyx was being that way is just because she has sort of formed this respect for Adelaide and being like,
Well,
I
yeah,
respect
it's
your
like-
privacy kind of thing.
Definitely like layered, right? Like she wants to, well, she knows, like she has dealt with older vampires. She knows that there's like a certain like hierarchy in
Mhm.
like, how long have you been around, and it makes sense. You survived for over a century, like, yeah, you must be good at what you do.
Yeah. Right.
And yeah, she learned soon enough, like immediately, that you don't disrespect your elders, because if not, the consequences are like they probably will just like get rid of you or just forget about that you exist. So like it's not that like she would be very problematic.
Mm-hmm.
But also, yeah, I think it's like I was saying, it's like, okay, like she, like Adelaide is like even more badass than like what she was imagining. So like she's like, well, I'm a fucking noob, like I need to pretend I'm like I got this, I have it together. So she saw what happens when she was asking a lot of questions. People get annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
She learned.
True. That is true. Doesn't want to seem too involved and interested in the beginning too, maybe? I guess that could
like
be a thing.
she's been very open about like her interest towards like her. I don't think it's like the involvement, like fuck, like she tossed like a business idea, like immediately.
Very
So, like, I
business
don't-
related Ventro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
I think that's communicating that you are okay with being involved.
Yeah, I would say that.
True.
Probably
More
like
than
one
that.
of the best ways to like
Pique their interest.
yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. It's like, oh, I know what your kind likes.
Adelaide communicated that she knew what Toreadors liked, and then
Yeah.
she pulled an ultimate reverse card and was like, well, I know what Ventru's like.
Yeah.
Be wary of Adelaide's secrets. One of them is a staked 7-foot tall woman. Shh, cry. They already think she's sus. You're not helping me here.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a villain. You admit it.
She was
Kryda
a
is
bad
villain,
guy.
though. So to
okay.
be honest, Adelaide is doing
She's the hero.
a service to everybody. Exactly. Adelaide is the true hero.
Yes. Yes. My plan is working. As villainous as villains get, yeah.
There
Mixing
you go.
work and play is the most involved you can get. Exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't see it like being like, oh, I need to play, like whatever. Like, no, you know, things have been already put out there. So like, let's see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like I'm still trying to figure out, like, I think honestly, like, again, relationships with vampire, like kindred relationships, romantic relationships are really weird. In my mind, I'm still trying to understand. Like, I feel like they would just enjoy each other's company, like, and who they are as like individuals in the society, and be attracted by, you know, their mentality or like their work, their career, like, you know, stuff like their status. Like it's not physical. Like there's really like physical is like a very far,
it's like an afterthought,
away thing. Yeah.
It's not, it doesn't do anything for them.
So I feel like the pairing Ventru and Toreador works so well. Like they just complement each other.
I do,
so perfectly.
yeah, I do think they complement each other quite a lot. And I don't think that I really like put much thought into that until this whole thing started, and I was like, oh, this actually like works pretty well. Which is funny, like the comments that I've made as Ashley being like, I'm dating the wrong fucking clan.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Ashley's like, I love Colette, but
it's like, excuse me. Like,
Season
gonna-
3,
you're
Ashley
gonna-
breaks up with Colette and dates a Ventru.
I mean, that's an interesting
no.
thing. That statement was actually kind of interesting because Colette hasn't exactly said the same thing, but hinted. Like, for example, when they were talking about the interior of Alejandro's new place, I've been dating a Toreador for far too long.
I feel like that has a lot different context than like Ashley's
Yeah.
comments, but yeah. You can see the like the effect. I think that's what you're saying. Like Colette is like, okay, yeah, I'm not
It's
like
the damn Toreadors.
I'm not like a Bruja. I'm a Bruja, but I'm like, I've been around a Toreador for too long.
Toreadized.
Yeah.
Victoriadized, yeah.
Same idea as like what Ashley was saying, just different context is all. And Colette is I feel like Colette, there was something that Colette hinted at some point. I can't remember what it was. I think it might have been either earlier this season, but she has said something like similar, like Memzi was saying. That comment that she made this particular episode of like, I've been dating a Toreador. She's said something like that in the past, but I can't remember now what it was. But it's funny because like you have like Adelaide and Nyx who work so well, and then you have like Ashley and Colette who like don't work that well. So we're seeing like two different perspectives of like kindred relationships in the season, and like here's
a
these
masochistic one and
Yeah.
like
A complimentary one.
Yeah.
a complimentary one, yeah.
But I think it's gonna be funny. I'm interested to see like what Ashley says as like Nyx is gonna come back and like have all of these stories with her time with Adelaide, and Ashley's just gonna be like, wait, what? You did all of that in 3 days?
Yeah, you did that.
And now you're like in business. Like,
What?
she is gonna blow her mind because I'm sure Colette has done nothing like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Colette's level of romance and like being romantic is way different than like Adelaide. And Ashley's gonna be like, Colette like thinks
I
it's
feel
hard
like
to fight.
we match because like I don't know, like maybe it's my acting 4 years of acting in college, but like you do like exercises like where like it's like okay, like what? Because I had to think about it. I'm like, okay, how would Nyx be in a relationship? So, I was like, well, she probably her best like love language is gifts because like I started that way. She started that way. She made like a jacket for Colette, like the gloves
True.
for
Yeah.
and I feel like Adelaide's too it would be gifts. So they kind of like match each other's vibe really well.
Yeah, I feel like it works. Ashley and Colette bond over pigeon rage. It's a different kind of love.
It is a different kind of love.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
like Ashley's gonna be like, I'll save it for the role play.
Yes,
Because I'm gonna have
Save it.
Ashley say something that's gonna be kind of funny in contrast.
Oh no, I probably will like text Ashley like in the text RP on Discord because I suppose I was thinking about one of the first things I'm gonna do next night is going to take care of the Scarlet thing. And before I do that, I would like to go and like ask advice to Ashley.
With Ashley?
And
Oh, okay.
because she has goals. Like she
Gotcha.
has one childer, which is Sugar, but like for now, like Nyx is not even thinking about having childer. Like, like she's just concerned of the fact that like she needs help and she needs a goal and like she kind of like wants to ask a few questions to Ashley and also gossip. So
Gossip is implied.
Yeah.
yeah,
that makes
gossip is
sense.
implied, but
Yeah,
definitely
we aren't doing any like time skip. The next stream will start off with like the next day, just because it makes sense to do it that way this time. But I need to like start writing down these thoughts whenever I'm having them while you guys are talking.
Yeah.
Because rip. So let's talk about the guys real quick. You guys so you show up at another house and there's another body and we're obviously seeing like the effect that it's having on Alejandro. So I was interested. I actually was surprised. Well, I guess Sparta did say something, but the way he framed it, it didn't really pique any like concern when it came to Nyx, because he was saying things like, "Oh, Alejandro's freaking out," and I was like, in my mind, I was like, that frames it in a much different way than like how Alejandro was acting. So I was kind of interested that when Alejandro sort of went like radio silent, so to speak, that nobody bothered to like reach out to him. You know what I mean? So I was kind of interested in that.
Outside of character, I definitely was like, okay, this is like, I knew it was his conviction in play. But inside of character, Alejandro is just coming back. And he still thinks of Alejandro as pre 2-year break, where Alejandro is Alejandro. He's always acting weird. He's always quiet. Like, he's always doing that thing. And, like, he noticed that he was freaking out. He's like, why are you growling? Like, what's going on? But at the same
also
time...
like Sparta doesn't have the same conviction. Like,
Exactly.
probably didn't even cross his mind. He's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. If you remember back in the Elysium when all the humans, he was impatient. He's like, whatever, just grab the meat bags and let's go. He doesn't actually give a shit about humans.
Well, no, I'm not saying he needs to. I'm saying there was no care or concern shown for Alejandro. Being like, days have gone by and he hasn't talked to anybody. You haven't seen him. And when you left him, he was obviously bothered. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying like, oh, Sparta needs to have this conviction that like he needs to feel bad for the humans.
If you remember, he actually did say we should go talk to Alejandro. Me and him can poncho it out and work through it. But Nyx talked him out of it.
Yeah. I was like, well, if he was freaking out, might as well.
But that's
leave
what
him
I'm
alone.
saying. That's what I'm saying is the way that it was framed was that he was freaking out and that he was mad. But Alejandro wasn't acting like that. He wasn't acting like angry. He was acting like he was like hurt, like, and he was upset.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm saying that the way that it was framed is I think why we got to where we got, and that's why I thought it was interesting. Because it was framed in a very different way than like how Alejandro was actually acting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if Nyx was there, it would have been a lot different because she would have realized like he's really deeply bothered by this and this is upsetting him. Like it's not like he's freaking out and blah 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 and we can't talk to, because the way that it was set up to Nyx is that he's in that state of like we can't talk to him because he's just gonna be a bruja and
Freak
want
out,
to fight.
yeah.
But that's not how
exactly.
Alejandro was acting. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's why I thought it was interesting. Sorry, that's what I was trying to get to. Is like I thought it was interesting that the way that it was framed isolated him even sort of more in that like deep conviction and him being upset by it, because it was like, oh, we can't talk to him. He's not gonna be reasonable right now. But he was never acting unreasonable at any portion of time. You know what I mean? And it's funny because you bring up a good point when you say like, oh, well, Sparta is like still has this like old kind of mindset of Alejandro from a few years ago. And that I think plays a lot into it. You know what I mean? Because all you guys are kind of used to is Alejandro reacting and not being reasonable and not being able to be approachable and talk to and things like that. And I think that played a big part in how everything ended up playing out with him, to where he didn't even end up reaching out to either one of you. He reached out to Colette. Finally, like that's who he reached out to. And I think that kind of speaks some volumes and as well in regards to like, you know, group dynamic and things. But yeah, I wanted to like touch on that with Alejandro, and I really like how you're sort of setting all of this up. And I think that I like how it all played out, and that you were sort of, you chose to sort of isolate Alejandro and sit in that conviction. And then their response kind of isolated him even more. But without them, like, they didn't do anything wrong, obviously. They don't realize. They're just like, oh, well, maybe we should just leave him alone because, you know, he's going to freak out on us.
Me and Sparta also have, like, Alejandro PTSD.
Yeah, yes.
And that's the interesting thing because, like, Alejandro kind of, like, said, I don't, let me deal with my own shit. And I think also that's why he reached out to Colette as well, because she would probably have a bigger understanding to it.
Which is funny because she doesn't carry that conviction anymore. And her humanity has dropped quite a lot in the 2 years that you have been gone. When she took the position as sheriff, she, in a way, sacrificed some of her kindred morals for that position. And knowing she sort of traded a lot of her convictions that she carried for so long and the way that she approached life and human life as a kindred. She exchanged a lot of that to step into this role and being like, it's my job to protect my own. It's not my job to protect humans anymore. It's my job to protect kindred. So she's exchanged a lot of mindsets. And that's why I played her in that way, like when you were sort of confiding in her at the gun range. She didn't have a type of Colette response that we would have seen in season 1. She was just kind of like, yeah, this shit happens and it sucks. But, you know. So she maybe can relate more than others and be like more understanding, but she also, like I said, she's walked away from a lot of those convictions because she's realized, like, look, the human race isn't my priority anymore. It was my priority for a long time, and I held on to those convictions for a long time, but those convictions are going to get in the way of me doing what I need to do, which is protect my own and protect kindred. Human race is a big disgrace. But no, I thought that was kind of interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how more of that unfolds with Alejandro, because I know you've mentioned that this is sort of like playing heavily into his convictions, and like all of these people keep dying, and it's having this huge effect on him. So I'm interested to see how that like continues.
Like more
Same.
than anything is like the whole what's really playing into it is that they're innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Like they haven't done shit. Like if it was one of the
Purist.
purists, you don't care. Like that's a guilty person. You're fucking people up. I don't care. I'm not gonna feel the same way. But when you're hurting innocent people, and you know, with his way of thinking and still kind of not being stuck, but still having that reminder why he became a cop in the first place. Like back, fuck my Ted says dying. Back in the day, like I did this to protect and serve, and he's seeing people getting blown up, people getting killed, and it's like, it is pissing him off.
Yeah, it's triggering.
Yeah. But I don't know, it is kind of, I don't know if refreshing is the right word, but that's like the first word that comes to mind, to like have somebody in the story and in the coterie that is sort of deeply bothered by all of these things. You know what I mean? Because not a lot of kindred are going to care.
Exactly.
You know what? And that's what we're seeing is like, it's not always like a big deal when humans get involved. They're like, oh, cool, humans are dying, whatever. So it's nice to have a character that brings that element, you know what I mean, that like level of humanity back into it, and is like, oh yeah, like I guess humans matter a little bit too on some level. I have to pee real bad, so I'm just gonna go and you guys can continue having a conversation. So I'll be right back. I can't hold it. I'm like wiggling in my chair. And I just looked at the clock and I'm like, we have like at least an hour left. No, I can't. So I'll be right back.
And Nyx shares the same conviction, doesn't she, about innocence?
Well, yeah, but like again, I wasn't there. I
No, I know that.
and
But
like also like I was, I'm like she is bothered. Like she was very concerned about Scarlet. Like she
always made sure like, hey, how is she? Like, I want her to be, I want her to have like a new opportunity. Like, I don't want her to, get sacrificed. Like, one of the main, obviously she likes her and she likes the attitude and stuff, but like I don't think Nyx would have necessarily been like, oh yeah, I need a goal, so like I'm just gonna take her in, unless she felt that way for humans, in
Yeah.
a way. Even though like I guess making a goal like will give her a stain, because you are like taking,
Technically taking humanity,
technically a like
innocence, humanity.
yeah, innocent human like into it. um but I don't think she's like necessarily like conscious about it yet. But no, she was like, I've been playing her like being deeply concerned about it, but like everything that you guys went through, like you told her like very briefly that night, like when she got there, and then like she was like, okay, you know what, like I'm gonna take this. And then Colette also reiterated, and she's like, take it tonight, and then like we'll talk about it, we'll talk about the real shit, like it just came back and whatever. So like I feel like this specific past like episode, like I was a little mm, lighter with the mood. But I have been playing her like where like this is fucked up, like this is not okay. Like yeah, there's like we do have an upper hand because like they are like threatening other humans. And I keep saying that, like that is going to be the big thing, honestly, that is going to play out, in my opinion, if we can keep like the focus on them with the like, other humans themselves. And we just like kind of
True.
like puppeteer the whole thing behind the curtains.
And we're going to talk to the chief here soon.
Yeah.
Although I am curious about, because we've never had this conversation in character, not Alejandro and Sparta or Nyx and Sparta, about his lack of any give a fuck is when it regards to humans. Because he really doesn't care. I mean, to an extent, like he's not going to hurt a child. He showed that in there. He tried to comfort the child, but if it came down to it, he really doesn't like. If a human dies, a human dies.
Yeah.
And I do think in this last episode, that did kind of come out. Like Sparta's like, we have a dead body. Who cares? He cares about Colette being in danger.
Hmm.
But as far as the ghoul's concerned, it's like, all right, it's just another dead human.
Yeah.
Two
I
gets
mean,
pretty
yeah,
good.
it probably like, yeah, it would be interesting for if the conversation pops up again, like for all of that has happened. Like, I just have what people told me, and like the only person I talked to very briefly about it was Sparta. Nick talked to Sparta, but like again, it was like, okay, I'm gonna just tell you like the very, very summed summary, and then like we'll like do some fun, like, and not like worry about it right now.
Pretty much, and that's what it was. He's like, I'm just gonna give you the cliff notes.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes it feel less heavy, than it might have been if Nyx was there experiencing that and experiencing like the first body. I was just saying, Jenna, that like I feel like I have been like with Nyx has been like concerned about the situation, as far as like having like she does get aggro when like there's like the fucking like the people dragged into the cult. Like she had a pretty like significant reaction, in my opinion, like when she found out that Scarlet was kind of like dragged there and just kept there, like.
Yeah.
And I was commenting that I think if that wasn't the case, like she wouldn't have necessarily considered Scarlet like a possible goal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even though like I was just saying that will stain her, because
but I don't think she's conscious of it yet.
She doesn't really know the kind of
The process and what it does.
yeah, like what it does to
Yeah.
you. I also have decided that I'm changing how it works when you make a ghoul. Fuck their rules. So it is a little bit different in like our world.
Homebrew.
Yeah. #homebrew. Humanity stains. Yeah, humanity stains are a thing. You're not a terrible storyteller. Don't talk about yourself like that, Cry. You're a wonderful storyteller, and I'm really excited to start up once your hiatus is over.
Same.
Oh, pain. But yeah, humanity stains are not really a thing that we've explored a whole lot on our campaign. We've had, I think, one instance where it wasn't a full stain, Alejandro didn't lose a humanity point. Well, I guess like a stain is different. Humanity stain is like, anyway, whatever.
If you keep like doing the same thing and like
Yeah.
staining, then you will lose.
Then it will lose.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he had an issue in the last one, and basically what we decided to do is just for like a few sessions, he like had to carry around this like immense guilt. And that's how we decided to play it out. He only made that decision once, so it wasn't like costly enough to like take away his humanity and take away his convictions. And then we also saw it, I guess, with Colette when her touchstone died and her humanity dropped.
True.
And she lost that conviction of protect the innocent from harm. That was the conviction she lost, which we saw very clearly, very fast in that car with the conversation between Alejandro and Colette, which still to this day has not been revealed in character to anyone else.
True.
I know Nyx was kicking herself and like, fuck, I wish I was in that car.
Yeah.
Wanted to drive your fancy car. Look what you missed out on.
Yeah. I mean, still would have chosen the car. Sorry.
But
Not sorry.
What was I gonna say? Oh, Nyx has shown when she's been involved with the stuff that's going on with the purists, she has shown like a level of discomfort in what they're doing. You know, not like to the purist, like she's like, fuck the purist. But I feel like she even had that attitude towards Scarlet before they really started talking to Scarlet and everything sort of started unfolding, and then her opinion of Scarlet changed and she was like, wait, like this girl isn't bad, like this girl is not evil,
this girl doesn't deserve this shit, this is wrong. So
it's like at first I feel like she didn't really care and she's like, you're the enemy. But then, like, as the conversation sort of unfolded and Scarlet revealed more and more, her mindset sort of changed and her opinion changed. And she was like, wait a minute, you're kind of, like, just caught up in all of this. Like, you're not...
You've been dragged into it, and now you're stuck. And, like, literally, if you want to get out of it, like, they're going to just kill you. And that's fucked up.
Yeah. Which I think will be interesting for, like... Alejandro. I was interested to see what his opinion was on the whole Scarlet thing, considering she like was a part of the purists, and if he had that same sort of attitude, because he doesn't know her, he wasn't there, like he doesn't know anything about her, and I feel
except
like
that she was involved in Blake's death. He knows that now because she was the one that was like lured him away. She was the one dating Blake.
No, there's more to that story than that. She didn't do that for the purist. I mean, you don't know this in character. She just did that because she fucking is a chick that is horny and wants to have sex.
Yeah, she like clearly likes to party. Come on.
Yeah, you
But
haven't picked up on that?
all Alejandro knows is that she's a purist. She was dating Blake. He disappeared, and now he's dead. That's all he knows.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's all anybody knows because
So the
that's
two
all
and
I've
two
given
together,
you. I haven't given you anything in regards to what you guys didn't ask her like any questions about like what her relationship was with Blake or why she met him. You guys came to your own conclusions. Like, oh, she lured him in and
He was just
you know,
like trying to fuck, guys.
yeah, just like I just wanted to have a
And it
fucking good
happened to
time.
be Blake.
And then, they did whatever they did because of that. But yeah, it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with Scarlet. But you guys don't know that because you didn't ask those questions. So
but that's what I'm saying is we don't know. We like it's all like outside of character, it's obvious, but inside a character, the assumptions would have been made.
well,
Like,
that's
oh
the
yeah, she was
dangerous thing
involved.
about not asking questions and just making assumptions. You come to the wrong conclusion because you didn't ask the right questions or you didn't take the time. You just asked a question and then you made up your own mind about everything else. And now you're like completely on the wrong track because you assumed instead of asking questions.
And that's another interesting thing because Alejandro didn't say anything.
Yeah, Alejandro
He
didn't
didn't
talk
ask.
at all during the Scarlet thing.
And the reasoning why is actually quite simple. She was drugged up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She wasn't gonna make any sense.
Yeah.
So in Alejandro's mind, that whole night he said it flat out. I'll let the big guy take the lead because talking to someone that's under the influence or under, you're not gonna get a flat out answer, or you're gonna get a very spotty answer. So that's why Alejandro talked to
The doctor.
the doctor instead and
Mhm.
asked like, how did they do this thing? Because she was able to give him a straight answer. Because with Alejandro's cop knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, I'm not gonna get a straight answer from this chick.
Mm-hmm.
Not now. She's way too high. It's gonna be spotty. I'm not gonna say anything though because I want him to learn that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually ties into what we were talking about while you were gone and how inexperienced Sparta is. He went in with a specific idea of what he wanted, but at the same time, what we were talking about was Sparta's really the only one of the coterie that doesn't actually give a shit about these humans' death. He doesn't care that this ghoul died.
Mm-hmm.
It is a human, and we've never had this conversation in character with between Alejandro or Nyx. Like, they do actually care about the innocent people. Sparta, he cares to a degree, but at the end of the day, if a human dies, it's just a human.
Yeah.
So when he went into Scarlet, it wasn't that he cared about Blake, it was that Colette wanted him to find Blake.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he didn't care about the connection between them. He's like, we just need to find him. I don't give a fuck what happened to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's the thing I was asking them is like how interesting it's going to be if that ever does come up and they talk about it and you can see the difference between how much each character cares.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I feel like we've had moments of that. You guys have never sat down and had a conversation, but there have been moments of that being displayed in the past of like how much certain convictions are playing into certain things and how different it is with like Sparta than it is with them. Because a lot of Nyx and Alejandro carry a lot of the same convictions and like their level of humanity is sort of around the same area, so they have a little bit more regard for human life.
Yeah, I think
Just
mine's lower than
naturally.
both of theirs.
Yeah, yours is lower, and your convictions are much different than like their convictions. So, it makes sense that you wouldn't necessarily react to certain things the same way. Yeah, but I don't think it's been anything big enough to like have an actual conversation about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It hasn't like created an issue. It's just been like a moment and maybe some comments have been said and then like you move
Yeah,
on.
and then like you're like, okay, yeah, sure, let's do it.
Right,
Whatever.
right, right.
Like the time that Violet was getting Vincent and like, we were trying to escape with the volunteers, with the blood, like with the living blood bags
Yeah.
that were like in the
Yeah.
break room.
the, the
Sparta's just like,
refreshments.
hurry up, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. So
He's
like
I
it
don't
wasn't
care if they
like,
die.
nah, I don't give a fuck, like, and he just left and went.
Yeah.
If that was the case, then like probably like Nyx would have been like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but again, like you said, Jenna, like it wasn't dramatic enough for, I guess, like neither me or like Nyx or Alejandro to like actually be like, yo, like,
True. Well,
the
yeah,
fuck's
because
wrong
if
with you?
Sparta had just walked out, that would have played into his conviction of leaving you guys behind.
Mm-hmm. Convictions are interesting. I like that they're a thing because I think that it makes you think as a character. Like when certain issues arise, you have to put a little bit more thought into your actions because it can play into that. And
like you were saying, I actually just opened the Nyx's because I didn't remember if it was like what was specific about it, but it's like protect the innocent. So that's why, like, with the purists, like, even if they were human, like, she's like, no, fuck you, you're not innocent. And,
yeah.
like, she switched immediately as she started to understand where Scarlet was. And she's
Mhm.
like, no, she's an innocent. Like, we need to protect her because this is not fair.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Um
Yeah, it's the same with Alejandro, right? He's not gonna be bothered to pop a shot at a purist.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he hits the head, much better.
mhm.
But obviously, he's gonna want answers, so he's gonna go for other parts of the body that disables them and not kills them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cuz he wants to get his hands on them and talk to them, get information,
Well,
which
yeah.
makes sense. I got distracted. I feel like I had a massive brain fart. But this whole thing with
Like that.
Scarlet is gonna be fun. Like, seeing how, like, now after she like recovers and things like that, and considering like, it's gonna be interesting because when she becomes like Nyx's ghoul, it's kind of like how are the others going to like take that and interact with that? You know what I mean? It's because it's like I feel like when you take on a ghoul, like, okay, this is my thought process of like I wouldn't attack another kindred ghoul or something. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't, and I probably would try to protect that person, even if it wasn't necessarily in my conviction, just because like I know who they are. So it's like it kind of like raises like their level of sort of importance. And that's how I see it. Obviously everybody is different and maybe their approach is different. But I just think that it might be interesting to see how the others sort of interact with Scarlet once she kind of steps into that role, and it's like she's becoming this trusted person to Nyx and she's important to Nyx, so will she be important to the others kind of by default? You know what I'm trying to say? You know, if that makes sense.
I think Sparta already kind of showed that when he went to question her and was being very friendly with her and was like, "Oh, Nyx can't wait to see you again." So he kind of like he already knows that Nyx cares about her. And so, like, he obviously is going to respect that because, he cares about Nyx as well. So
Mhm.
if she is attached to Scarlet, then he's also gonna form at least some sort of bond with her. But once she becomes her ghoul, that's gonna tie into his conviction directly because, he's gonna protect his family. If losing Scarlet is gonna hurt Nyx, then he has to protect Scarlet.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
de facto, he's going to have to protect Scarlet, even though she's a human and he doesn't necessarily care about her humanity.
Mm-hmm.
She is attached to the family, and losing her would hurt the family. Therefore, she has to be protected. But even before that, he already was showing that he cared because
He knows
somebody in the family
yeah,
cares about her.
right? Because Nyx has like shown that interest.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that go towards your conviction for the ghouls that Colette is losing, though?
True. But
Because the
That's
way
a good
you're
point.
Shit, I
phrasing
didn't
it
even think
now,
about that.
I didn't
actually.
think about
Wait.
that.
now,
Fuck, you're right.
you should have. Well, technically, he should have reacted on the bodies that has been found on Blake and what did you call it? Estelle, something like that? What was
Whatever
the
that
other
bitch's
name?
name was,
Noelle.
I forgot. Noelle.
Noelle.
Well,
It's in my
Estelle.
notes.
I mean, close enough.
Sure. It's Estelle now. She's dead anyway.
I'm
that
finally
would've
taking
gone
notes
into-
because of Nick or because of Fenn.
Hey, look at you. I think I have it in my notes. I
But
wrote
you're
it down.
right though. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, you make
Because the way
Mhm.
you're explaining
Good
it
point.
now, he should have reacted. on the
Very good
ghouls,
point.
Colette.
Oh shit.
Unless you want to chalk it
I might-
up to like, I don't know though, because I feel like he has a pretty good relationship with
Yeah.
Colette.
Yeah.
Honestly, he does. So that would actually
He
play
would
against
he would
his.
consider her family, I would assume, as
Yeah.
much as he does Nyx.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that would actually. He fucked up.
Yeesh. Stain?
I didn't think about it
Question
either.
mark?
I
mean, it would
that
be
feels
fair.
harsh.
Honestly, I would consider that fair because
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
get.
say
I
he would
didn't even
lose
think about
humanity,
it.
but-
No, we wouldn't go that far.
because
We'll
it
talk
has
about
affected Colette.
I'll talk to you about it. I have an idea. Let me write it down because I will forget. I'm not very good at remembering my ideas, apparently. Thought I was. I forgot it.
But I mean, it is fair because I made a conscious effort
okay,
with
okay.
Scarlet to be friendly, but I gave no fucks about the others. So
Mhm.
that would,
Mhm.
and not just once, twice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we can do something with that. So yeah, that's interesting. I literally did not put. It makes sense now that you're kind of like explaining it. Now that we bring up Scarlet.
Yeah. I always forget about Colette. Like I know he's close to her, but I always think about the coterie
Mm-hmm.
main at the moment.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
But she is part of the family though.
yeah, and I was gonna say that can be like however you want to determine it. If you want it to be like only designated to these certain people, obviously that's your choice to make.
I'll say it right now. Colette, I mean, he's been working with her closely outside of the coterie.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he considers her family, and she was part of the coterie at one point. So,
Yeah, I feel like everything that they like went through together, and then now like he's been working really closely with her, that it would make sense that it's like they're really close.
yeah, and like, she's literally in the previous episode, kind of took on the mother figure. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed.
Yeah. I feel like she's
That was
always
so
been the
cute.
mom with all of you
No,
guys. All of
she's
her
the
little
daddy.
speeches. She's the daddy. All of her like
Yeah.
speeches and shit. Like she's always kind of taken up that role ever since from like the start. She's like, I love you because I have to. Not because I'm choosing to.
Except for with Spartan. She could have told him to fuck off. I don't want to work with you.
Yeah. I mean, she could have said that to everyone, to be fair. I don't think that she would have done that in the end. Like, so much was proven by everyone by the end of, like, the season that it was like, we can all trust each other. Even if, like, we don't always get along. Like, we know that we have each other's backs when shit hits the fan. You know? And that speaks a lot to Colette and speaks a lot to, like, the demon she sort of carries around with the shit that happened with her partner dying and, you know, the guilt that she carried for so long of his death and, like, blaming herself because she didn't have his back and he died and blah, blah, blah. So definitely plays a lot into, like, who she is as a character. So the fact that she, like, by the end of the season, she knew that, like, no matter what happened, you guys would protect her, then it was like she was connected.
Bonded.
Yeah, exactly. Because that, I think that was very clearly communicated in the things that ended up happening, especially, like, the last couple of episodes, and, like, how, like, well the coterie was working together despite all of the shit that had happened throughout the entire season to, like, cause issues. It was like those last, I think it was probably, like, the last 2 episodes, maybe the final,
we were like
the finale machine. That was, like, the 2-parter. Yeah, you guys were working together real well. It was like you guys were like, all right, like, this is it. We don't have time for bullshit because we might die. So
yeah, it is about to get real.
Yeah, it's about to get real. So let's stop fighting about petty things. We can do that, you know, tomorrow. Later. Save that for another day. And I feel like the petty arguments have ceased. Like, they're gone. There hasn't been a lot. They've been
replaced by joking.
Yeah, they've been replaced by, like, fun banter.
Joking a while back, talking shit behind Alejandro's back.
Is it shit talking or is it just, like, friendly worry?
Shit talking.
Friendly worry. I love that. We're not shit talking. We're showing friendly worry for them.
I only threatened to break your leg in a friendly manner. But I said you could punch me.
More friendly than a broken leg, you know? Like,
it takes days to recover from. Just a
random vibe. Hey, for Sparta's used to being punched in the face every single day. So a broken leg's nothing.
So Jess brings up a good thought. It says, who it might come back to that knows info about Colette. Would it be Max? He didn't seem happy about Colette always on him about the pigeons and eventually getting fired. That's funny.
It's a good thought, but if you rewatch the episode, Max agreed.
Yeah.
That this wasn't his scene.
And plus, Max is a player character, so Jenna can't just take control of somebody's character like that.
I mean,
she would,
she
without permission.
I wouldn't do that, to be honest.
Technically, she could, but nah, it's not Max. Like I said, Max was okay being fired.
Max was like, "Yeah, it's fine, thank God. I want to, like, go back and do my everyday things. I don't want to be caught up in this bullshit anymore." Seriously. Be hounded about my pigeons. His pigeons are
I
dead.
Just enjoy my classical music on my gramophone, and that is what is going to vibe here, boys. My newspaper and my gramophone.
Yeah.
I have a I have a question for Sparta and Nyx.
Mm.
What did you guys think about the prank? 'Cause I don't think we like hardcore touched on that.
Outside of character, I thought it was amazing. I thought it was funny as hell.
I thought it was really funny, yeah. And again, like the aftermath of it, it just like sparked a whole thing. Like Nyx is definitely going to bring some like ideas over to Sparta for his like cat walkways and stuff so that the cats can move around and have plenty of vertical space to play with.
That cat's gonna have like the best life.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, pretty much. But Sparta, he's not the smartest, and he squirrels easy. Once Nick said, "Oh, it wasn't," because you literally put Nyx on there. He's like, "Why did Nyx call me a pussy?" Because it's out of her character. She wouldn't do that. So once she said, "Oh, I didn't do that," his mind squirreled, and he's like, "Well, I have all this food. Fuck it, let's get a cat." So he hasn't actually thought about who actually sent it yet.
He's been preoccupied.
Except now he has a kitten. That might come later. He might be like, "Wait a second, who actually sent that?"
Wait.
2 weeks later.
2 weeks later.
Oh.
Wait, what?
He's slow on the uptake.
Yeah,
Jesus.
but that's why we love him.
It's a slow bird with Sparta.
I love him. It was amazing.
Oh man. 2 weeks later he comes like he's that person that like you tell the joke to on like Tuesday and they don't get it till Saturday. Randomly they're like, "Oh, that's so funny." You're like,
You're like, what?
Really? Taking you nearly a week to figure that out. It's not funny anymore, dude.
True. Although, to be fair, the prank resulted in him getting a kitten, so he's probably going to be like, "Oh, that was awesome! Like you did him a favor."
Totally backfired on, I think, whatever type of result that Alejandro may have been looking for. It just completely backfired.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. Maybe another prank will appear at some point.
You pranked a dummy. You got to make it a little more obvious, less subtle.
Less subtle. Okay. Oh boy. What's gonna happen next?
I'm scared.
I mean, I was thinking about doing something, but I like no. But then the idea of putting Nyx as the sender, like, I mean, I was thinking about it. I was like, should I put Nyx as the sender and like do something weird? Because I mean, I would be pranking two people at the same time. Maybe get some confusion for the locals. So that's why I said, "Oh fuck it, I'm putting Nyx in there." And the face of confusion of them got me.
That was
Like
great.
she was like, "What?"
Like you at
Wow.
first
That
you
was
looked
awesome.
offended and then you were like confused and it was just like this whole like you were seeing like all of these different emotions like sweep across your face in a matter of seconds. And it was just like
Yep,
Perfect.
it was great. That's why I
And-
thought it was great. But outside of character, I was like, it's not gonna go the way you think because Sparta and Nyx, they don't fight like that. So he's literally just gonna ask her.
But it actually did. Out of character, that confusion from Sparta, those messages, I was like, in my head, oh my god, did Alejandro just go full Pokemon and use confusion on these two? Because that seems super effective.
Yeah, we were both confused. We're like, wait, what?
Definitely confused.
Yeah, I think that if like the issue was pushed further, it would have like Nyx would have been like, you know, this is obviously somebody trying because another thing is Nyx does Nyx know that Alejandro called Sparta pussy? No, she's been in Portland this entire time.
Yeah, she doesn't know. And
So
I never told her what the note said.
Yeah.
I just said, I have
Yeah,
a
you
note
did.
from you. All I said was, I have a note that
and it says it's from you.
And you sent me cat food. And I never actually showed her the note. So,
Yeah.
and I was in cat form. So while you guys were doing, like Colette, Nix, and Alejandro were doing that text thing, I was playing with the kitten in panther form. So I never saw the text till after I transformed back. And by that time, we had ended the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Alejandro was just freaking dying inside, like, when he texted Colette, like, how the fuck haven't I been called out on this? I literally just gave him the answer.
Did Nix actually say that?
Nick, say what?
Hmm?
Did Nix tell Sparta that somebody's pulling a prank on him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he just like said, I think the next thing you said was something like, I guess I'm getting a cat. And it was
yeah.
it was just like gone.
Like, okay.
Nick's is like, cool.
Let's go.
But yeah, no, she did at one point during that conversation, she said someone's pulling a plank. God.
Prank.
Prank or something. And you just continued, and I thought it was so funny that like she even said that, and you were just like gone.
I mean, it suits Sparta. He's like a one-track mind.
Yeah, it everything that happened with that was very Sparta. Like it doesn't surprise me that he reacted the way that he reacted, and that now he has a kitten because
Alejandro.
Bell.
That's where we end up with things sometimes when it comes to Sparta. Even with like stuff that I throw at you, I'm like, yeah, no, that's not at all the direction I wanted you to go with that. But okay, this is where we are now. Like, I guess I'll just roll with it. But I like that kind of
Chaos.
Sure, we'll call it that. Chaos. Sometimes it does feel like chaos. I don't know. I feel like this season I don't really have an end goal, to be honest. And even like you discovering and putting an end to the purists and all of that isn't even the end goal necessarily. So I don't feel like I need to like push you guys in a certain direction. You know? It's just like wherever you guys decide to go with this is where you decide to go with it, and I'll just adapt as we're going and adapt the story to what sort of you guys are discovering along the way. And I don't know, it's more fun that way for me too. Like all of the stuff with Scarlet, like I said, like you guys, that could have led to a lot of different information, but you didn't ask questions, so regardless of her state of mind, you know, it was, you asked a couple of questions, okay, you confirmed that she knew her or she knew him, and then the rest of everything that happened was just speculation and assumption on your part without having any like actual evidence that like, you know, she is the cause of this. It was just like, no, I just met him at a bar and we hooked up a few times. You know? And it just, true. like Finn said, it just so happened to be Blake. That it was, like, kind of one of those coincidence things. But no, I'm having fun with, like, kind of the main story and just kind of being, like, fast and loose in regards to, like, what happens and where things go. And it's, you know, like I said, I don't have an end goal here necessarily for this season, so we just gotta see what happens, and sometimes chaos happens and things don't go at all how you thought they would go. And that's okay and fun. So let's start wrapping things up. Do we have any last thoughts, anything else that you guys want to touch on in regards to this episode or what is to come?
I don't know. I think we touched on just about everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
The one
I
thing I will
already
say,
said. Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead, man.
the one thing I want to say is that I love the dynamic of everyone's house, how different they are from each other.
Mhm.
You got Sparta being couch boy. I can't remember Nix's house how it looked.
So Nyx's house is like a Queen Anne, Victorian,
Mhm.
outside, and inside there's probably gonna be some antique furniture, and like she probably remodeled everything to look how it used to look back then. Um, it's very nice and cute and neat. Like
And then
cluttered.
you have
There's a lot of shit everywhere.
But it's all like organized clutter.
Very organized and pretty, yeah.
It's intentional.
Yeah, it's intentional, yes.
It's one of those houses where there's just a lot of stuff everywhere.
Hmm.
Adelaide's house has a steak vampire in it.
I didn't see that cry.
She
I
didn't find that
see
artifact.
cry. I didn't find that specific artifact.
Pics or it
Um,
didn't happen.
Yeah, no.
Exactly.
If ever Adelaide comes and visits, like she's gonna have like a story about everything because she's probably gonna have visited with Ashley a bunch of different antique like furniture, blah blah blah, and like every piece probably has a story with
Nice. Adelaide's just like
like with
walking
it.
around the house, like learning about her furniture. Like, cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nothing to
she.
do with story, with history, but like they have
Yeah,
stories.
yeah. Like, not
Yes.
the interesting stuff that she cares about. It's just like, oh my god, this really cute little old lady owned this for like 70
Yeah,
years.
and
And
it
blah, blah,
was
blah,
like
blah, blah.
and it was like passed down to her, and like it's been in her family forever, and I found it in this like little cute
Love it.
boutique like in whatever. I feel like Ashley probably took her around like traveling too,
Yeah.
like in other places. Like I don't feel like she would have stayed in New Orleans forever. So
Yeah.
like wherever they went, like she always goes and try to find the antique places, and that's gonna be it. Yeah, but it's a Queen Anne. It's really pretty. That's like the type of house I want to live in, honestly.
Yeah, I would love to live in a
Victorian
house
Queen
like
Anne,
that. They're so
like a
beautiful.
dollhouse.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really
there's
like
so
that
many here.
aesthetic.
Hmm.
One of my friends in Florida, there's the town that all my family's from. There's like a historical district, and they bought an old, like, I don't even remember. It was like built in the 1800s and kind of restored it a little bit, and it was beautiful. It had these like big like original brick stairs that like went up into the house, and it was so beautiful. I love that house. I'm like, I want this house. It was a 2-story, and it had this really cool little attic area, and yeah.
I love attics for some reason.
It was cool. It was a cool house indeed. But yeah, I always kind of gravitate toward, like, if I go on trips, I always want to see like the historical districts of towns and stuff because it's really beautiful. Is there a bug, Took? Okay, it's a fly. Sorry. It's house centipede season. I found one on my wall earlier.
She already attacked one once.
I ain't trying to play them games. Okay. Anything else that you guys want to touch on, or are we happy with where we're at?
No, I'm excited for this Saturday.
Yes, me too.
I'm really excited for this Saturday.
Same. I'm always
There's
excited.
going to be a bunch of things that I am going to be tackling next. So I'm excited.
Nice.
Same. I can't wait. And I'm going to be opening all the doors with my kitten armor. Bella is my protection.
Nice. You're like,
Pocket cat.
I know Jenna's not gonna make this door blow up because I've got this cat in my pocket.
Pocket cat.
We need Nyx to make a cat
I
outfit.
am going to 100%
Yes.
make like
a little cat outfit for her.
something.
I mean, she's already gonna have the cat bling, so she
Yes.
might as well have a matching outfit.
Yes. Little sweater.
And it can have a little hood that you pull up every now and then. Her little ears pop out for extra protection.
Yes.
Oh my god, I love
With
this.
It's gonna be emblazoned that says "Pounce."
Pounce. Nice. Oh my god, I love this cat already.
Yes.
This is why I love
Oh
RP,
my God.
guys. This is
You
the
never
shit
know
that
what's gonna
goes
happen.
on.
You never fucking know what the fuck is going to happen. It's great.
Now we have a kitten NPC that everybody loves and adores, and she's been here for like 5 minutes.
I'm gonna make a character sheet for her.
Perfect. She'll get XP as we go along. The more adventures she goes on, the higher level she
Oh
gets.
yeah, XP.
What?
That's next
It
one.
hasn't been a
episode.
month yet.
Yeah, we're only on episode 3. Next
No,
episode
wait,
this
we're on
weekend.
episode 5.
No, we're on episode
Oh,
5,
we
guys.
are.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah.
Okay, I should have I'll message after.
I
'Cause I'm-
completely forgot. But like you
I've been
said
having
something,
so much
I was
fun.
like, wait, season 2, episode 5, wait.
Yeah. I should have been last week. But also, I'm gonna change how we do XP for this because our season's gonna be much longer. So it's not gonna be as much as we were doing last time.
That makes sense.
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
we'll talk about it when we're done. But anyway, you guys can join us on Saturday for our next session and see what adventures everybody gets up to. And yeah, we'll be there for that. You can follow us. I put all of our personal channels in
Thanks.
there. And our Discord. Go ahead and hop in the Discord if you're not in there. And we will see you guys on Saturday. We're going to raid the Nerd Asylum again. I think we raided them last week as well. They're pretty cool. I like how all of them are in character and look like their characters. Makes me feel happy inside. Anyway, we'll see you guys on Saturday, and hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Bye, everybody.
Yes.
Bye.